Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I got a download yesterday, right? And I wanted to kind of just go over this. I wasn't sure if it was just for me or if the creator wanted me to share, right? So, I'm sorry, on another note, we will get back to the aliens and the periodic table. But if you've been tuning in, that we tend to bounce around a lot, right? And I had said something about the creator allowing me to hear someone say that in the realm that I was all over the place. Well, here on Inappropriate Radio podcast, we discuss everything from religion to spirituality, right, and everything in between, psychology, science, social events, and aliens have just became a part of the conversation maybe around the last week of December. So we have decided to start embarking on a journey and just doing some investigation that will help us make a connection between the spirit realm and all of pretty much science, right? The physical, the things that are connected to our health, the things that are connected to our bloodlines, spiritual warfare, right? It's basically the premise of our conversations. So the download that I got yesterday was that this planet is for reflecting, okay? This is why we are in this big bubble full of fluid and gases that allow things to be reflected back or catapulted back. Yes, there are multiple dimensions and things like that. And you don't have to believe me. You don't have to take my word for it. Remember, I like to make sure, for the most part, that everything we discuss is something that is Googleable, right? That's a word that we made up over here. You can Google everything that we discuss for the most part, but then there are instances where I may get some information and the creator wants me to share it, whether it's a personal testimony or it is a download, something that he has given me during our intimate times that he would like for me to share. I don't share everything that the creator gives me. I know, hard to believe, but there are times where he's like, okay, I'm telling you this and it's for you, but it's also for the podcast. It's for the collective as well. And then there are things that he's like, under no circumstances do you need to say that out of your mouth, okay? This is one of those things that I know for sure we needed to go over because he actually gave me the download yesterday. So the reason we feel this connection to this higher sense, and I'm not saying the creator, I'm saying a higher sense of ourselves, right? We have this awareness. We have these different things, right? Circumstances, events that allow us to be able to see ourselves outside of ourselves, right? So whether we're dreaming, whether we're looking in a mirror, whether we're looking in a body of water, whether we are interacting with people that allow us to see the most hidden parts of ourselves or the most obvious things that we may not be receptive, right, to accepting about ourselves, whether we are looking at our behavior through the lens of a status quo, your environment, meaning your culture, is predicting, what your life should reflect. So all of these different aspects in this dimension allow us to be able to get a different glimpse of ourselves, outside of ourselves, right? When you get to the dreaming world, when you get to the subconscious aspect of ourselves, the parts that are not tangible, This is where it gets tricky, but this is where you get to learn. This is where you get to connect with the Creator. This is where you get to figure out the different inner workings that are connected to you, right? Because we all do come from one source, but we are extensions of so many different things that plug into other things. The things that you plug into don't have to necessarily exist in this realm, right? And we know that. We've discussed that. We've gone over that. But this planet is for reflecting. When we come here, we are on a mission and a journey to sit down and figure things out as far as our spirits are concerned, as far as who we are. And we've gone over this, right? Us having multiple versions of ourselves in different timelines, different dimensions, so on and so forth, right? But this is us being able to reflect on the here and the now. Hence the reason we are in this space where the vibration is raising and it's allowing us to get a better glimpse on ourselves, right? Things that are hidden are being highlighted. Things that hold no weight, no power are being highlighted. Things that are connected to lower vibrations, right? We can't hide these things anymore. We need to be willing to face ourselves. And like I said, all of those different options on being, available to you as a way of a reflector, right? By way of this reflection, you get to understand the greatest pieces of you have yet to be discovered. This is what the journey is about, right? Being able to place yourself in a position where you're willing to seek what it is that you need to learn, right? Because it's one thing to have it plopped in your face and you're overlooking everything, you're just taking it as a part of life. But actually vibrating in a space where you are open to seeing yourself, this is what consciousness is. This is what raising your vibration is. Being conscious, being intentional, being aware, being in the moment, being in the here and now, and being able to see yourself and accepting it, and being in a space where you're willing to navigate that in a healthy manner, figure out what it is that is required to make it better or more enhanced or more suitable, right, for the environment that you're in a good way. This is why the Creator sent us here. And a lot of us, we have all these different theories, and I'm not negating what anyone else has received as a download or as intel about why we're here, about our spiritual journeys overall, right? We're here to learn. We have this consciousness about ourselves, but we have this strong belief, right, that we have these past lives and we have these different aspects of ourselves in these different dimensions, but we don't really have a real recollection of that, other than what? Deja vu, dreams, meeting people and feeling like you've met them in another lifetime. And unless you have already mastered some things and you just came back to do a remix, right? Because there's an enhancement that's required, or the Creator just gave you an extra blessing, little bonus life, whatever. For the most part, our memory is our spirit, is our consciousness, and we've talked about that. We don't have a real memory, for real, of what it is that we were in the past life, or what we're connected to, unless, like I said, the Creator have given us the ability to tap into that, whether it's through a dream, deja vu, or He's just strictly telling us hey, this is what this was this amount of years ago. This is who this is. Whatever, however it goes for you. But in a nutshell, you have to be willing to understand that your ability to see yourself as you are, good and bad parts, and being willing, there's a difference, okay? I'm going to say it again. There's a difference between knowing what's going on that needs to be fixed, what's okay, what has been assisting you, and knowing and doing something about it. When you actually put the effort into doing something about it, this is where you start to raise your vibration even more. I mean, just even being conscious and aware is, allowing your frequency to go to a height where you can start connecting with things that are attached to the other aspects of yourselves. Now, we know this because we can tap into the spirit realm, and we know for sure that we are connected to other things that are not tangible, that are not visible, and that are not physically obvious, right? That have not shown themselves. We just know that deep down inside we have this strong knowing that we are connected to something else, right? If your journey entails gathering people for the sake of Allah, if your journey is requiring you to step into a higher vibration because you are set to be an example or do something that calls for higher vibration or motivation or remembrance, recollection, more than likely you have already known from a very young age that something odd was going on, right? In the ethers. You've known since you were a jitterbug. So as you ascend even more, there's about 70 different more cycles, we're going to live through spiritually. And I mean, we have the different, we discussed this, the different cycles that are going on in the universe within, the different solar and lunar phases. But I'm saying spiritually, and this is because of the generations that are being born, right? We're overlapping pretty much. But before we go, this timeline, this dimension, see, we have been in this dimension before in a different timeline, and it was about building, right? It was about fighting and really going through everything to figure out what's what. But this timeline now, right, 24 that we're in, has everything to do with remembering, reflecting, figuring out what we are connected to. And I mean, of course, there are cultures and other civilizations that have already figured that out, but that was during their timeline. Do you understand? And that was like basically the end of what they considered life, or at the tip of a transition, right? Coming into a new timeline. So yeah, this thing is about us really figuring out who we are and really, really getting to the core of our spirits and what the Creator is about and what life is about. And other planets are for other things, but Earth is about reflecting, right? How Mars is about war, how Jupiter is about learning and expansion and good luck and traveling and fortune. Earth is about reflection, alright? But I'm gonna end it here. I do love y'all. I hope y'all have been drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea, because it is free. And I hope y'all are ready for the weekend. Get ready and prepare for the weekend, alright? Love y'all. Peace.